Well, were you here for a little bit of navigation stuff? Something about a compass? It's easy. Drag the number to the line. See you later. But if you want to hear more aviation news, stick around. My name is Graham Wilson. Welcome to the Superpilotish channel. And today I am going to be saying in my basement some really general news for aviation because I thought I'd do it as a little experiment because I was running low on time here before I got on on my show, which I do live Monday, Wednesday, Friday at noon Eastern. And so I just like, yeah, we'll go to Twitter, X, and let's ask AI. We'll ask Grok, hey, give me some news. So let's see what Grok gave us today. No, I'm not going to be able to show you this on my screen. I don't think. Well, I don't want to mess that up. Sometimes I have another screen set up, but it's like I usually just hang out on my workbench here, and I take my laptop down, put my laptop back up. Anyways, let's see what Grok has to say for the news. And I said, tell me some random aviation news from yesterday. And Grok replied, okay, what else? We got Boeing 737 MAX production resumes. Boeing has restarted the production of its best-selling 737 MAX jetliners, addressing previous safety and supply chain issues. That's cool. And, I've never looked at this up on Grok before. Okay, it looks like it got that from Aerospace News. Okay, so it got that from a tweet or a post. Okay, let's see what else is new. Slovakia to discuss C-390 purchase. Slovakia is set to enter into talks for purchasing 3 C-390 aircraft from Brazil's Embraer, with negotiations beginning in January. Okay, I'll click on this little thing. That was from Air Pro News. I don't know what a C-390 looks like. Slovakia is going to buy it. Okay, so I'm thinking here with the with Grok, it's just kind of reporting on tweets here, I think. Okay, high commercial flight numbers. Yesterday marked the highest number of commercial flights since March 20, amid signs that the second wave of the COVID-19 in the U.S. might be easing. Second wave? There was a second wave of that? Whatever. That's like 5 years ago, man. Okay. And that was from some guy named Carlos. Okay, so there's our... Okay, one more Grok news. Attempted plane diversion. A passenger on a Volaris flight from Mexico to the United States was arrested for allegedly attempting to divert the flight by force. So this is from Fox Nashville. Okay. Well, very good. So it looks like if you're going to be going on Grok for your news, it goes first to the X posts and then goes from there. Oh, and while I was reading that, Daniel and Michelle popped in here. So, hey. Okay. Welcome to the show, guys. And check out For the Soul Art by Michelle Plunkett. She's saying hello here. There you go. She sells art. You might be able to get some in time for Christmas. And so anyways, that's it for the news. Ta-da. And now we're going to talk a little bit about navigation. And like I said, I was running a little bit behind schedule here to get started on time. And I'm going to do the superpilotish 5 tips for you here. But the number one is to drag the number to the line. So I'm going to whip out the old whiteboard here today. And we'll say 5 compass tips. Now, the thing is, you may ask yourself, why do I care about compasses? I got my Google Maps on my phone and got my GPS in the car. Why do I care? Well, if you're a pilot, you got to know where you're going, and sometimes systems fail. Phones run out of batteries, GPSs, maybe you got to turn it off because you're having some sort of an electrical issue. So that's why every airplane out there in the entire world has an actual magnetic compass in it. Now, I used to always say that every single one has a magnetic compass in it, but like even big jets. But up until a few years ago, like that was the case. So you could see like say some big 1990 Boeing 747, and you were flying over to Europe, you would have a little magnetic compass there, just so that if everything else failed on the airplane, at least you know where you're going. So if your engines are running. So let me just make myself comfortable here. Okay, so that's the way it used to be. Now they have kind of like redundant electrical redundancy on airplanes. So you don't necessarily have to have that. But if you're learning how to fly, you definitely got to know how to kick it old school with a compass. And you think about it too, like maybe if you're camping or something like that, yeah, you're out in the bush and oh, I got my GPS. Oh, you tripped and you fell in the water. Oh, now you're worried about hypothermia and your GPS doesn't work and you don't have cell reception and your phone's not working, but you got the old magnetic compass in your pocket. This might help you out here too. So here we go. On airplanes, this is going to be a little bit kind of a very, I don't know, somewhat airplaney kind of show here today, because I was getting lots of views off my other airplaney show that I did. I don't even remember what it was about. Oh, it was a airworthiness directive for some little plane. It's getting lots of views, so I'll stick with the airplane stuff. Okay, so for your compass, number one, this is the thing that I invented myself. I've never heard anyone else use it, and it works fantastic for your students. And a lot of times, if you're teaching somebody how to do something, it's good to put like a little rhyme or a little I before E except after C, things that rhyme. It kind of sticks in your brain a little bit more. Okay, so drag the number. Okay, I'm writing this down to the line. So my little rhyme for this is drag the number to the line and you're gonna be fine. And if you want your student to really remember that even better, you can do it like do it kind of reggae. You drag the number to the line, you're gonna be fine. Come on. So I don't know. I had this one guy who was teaching. He was Jamaican. He thought it was kind of funny. So anyways, here we go. Got a little color in there to brighten things up. Red for Christmas. Merry Christmas. Okay, so this is the way. Now that's something. I got my secondary whiteboard out here too. Okay, so we're going to be talking about. So you remember, maybe you went to summer camp and you had your little orienteering compass, or you did maybe in grade school or some kid's magazine or something. When you're a kid, you get like a cork, you put a little needle on it, and eventually stick that in a glass of water and it'll point north. So that's what magnetic compasses do. They point to the magnetic north. So there's a difference between magnetic and true north. So if you look at your map, you're looking at that. It's like, oh, north is up there where Santa Claus lives, right? So, but it's, and I will kind of show you here too. This is what an aviation map looks like, or they call it a chart. So it's an aeronautical chart. And it's got a bunch of squiggly lines and doodads on it and stuff. I don't know how old this one is. Let's see if I don't even know if I got this all marked up or what. Oh no, so this is around Windsor. This is where I live. If you're flying around Windsor, this is where I live. Right over here. There's yellow stuff up there. That's all Detroit. And this is Windsor right there where I live. And the airport's right there. And Michelle lives out Highway 3 out there somewhere. So anyways, Samarth, hi. Welcome to the show. I'm just talking about aviation charts here. So that's around where I live. I'm going to get to that a little bit later. And so that map, it's all drawn up in true north, blah, blah, blah. But if you're flying your airplane, you're flying magnetic north. So there's a bit of a difference there. So I'll show you. Okay, so let's just say we got our little orienteering summer camp compass, and or your little cork with a little little needle on it, will point to the north. So we got our compass here. North is up here, south is down here, and we are over here like that. There we go. There's an official compass. So this we'll say that we got our needle. Let's see if I'm doing this right. Okay, so if you're in your airplane, okay, you'll have they'll call it like a compass card. So this is kind of shaped, I guess, kind of more like a dome. So you're actually looking at. Okay, let's see if I can orient this here. So if we make it like flat like this, you will be looking at the back here. And so this will be, say we're going to be flying our airplane north, and it looks like this. You wouldn't actually see the S down there. It's kind of flip-flopped. That's what messes people up when you're flying the airplane. So it would be like north is here, west is here, east is over here. It's weird because you're looking at the back of the compass. And then when the airplane turns, that gets you all messed up there too. But the compass will always point to magnetic north. So that's why things are kind of backwards. So if you think about it, there's like what they call a lubber line. You land lubber, and if you pretend that you have a number over here, and you want let's draw a little line. This might not be exactly the best. Let me get my eraser on here. Okay, let's do this here. Hopefully I won't mess you guys up too much with this. But if you're looking directly at your compass, you're going to see it kind of looks like this. It's going to be a line like that. And then you're going to have little markings of, what do we got here? 10, 20, this is 350, 340. All right, so you'll have little markings like that. And you'll say, okay, I want to turn, we'll say this is north. Okay, there's your heading of north. And you say, oh, I'm north, but they're telling me, hey, fly a heading of 10 degrees. So you'd think, oh, the 10's over here on the left. You actually got to drag the number to the line. So you're actually going to make a right turn to a heading of 10. So because you're looking through the back of the compass, it's kind of weird. But you just imagine if you look at the number, which way do I turn, right or left? You say, okay, drag the number to the line. Okay, I'm looking at that. I got to drag it to the right. I turn to the right. And then once this 10 goes up to your line, there you go. You're on your heading. And no one ever tells you that. I had to figure it out myself. Okay. And I see you making some comments here, Samart. Thanks. And I'll get to them at the end. Thanks. Okay, so number 2. What do we got here? The other thing that you can do, because you'll have to fly with a compass if you're doing your commercial license training or your instrument training. So that's our instrument flying training. You got to do that too. And you'll have to utilize your magnetic compass to simulate as if you had a vacuum failure or a heading indicator failure. Airplane, that's what we talk about here. So you can always use for your, if you can try to figure out, where am I going? How's my airplane in the air? Am I going north, south, east, west? Where do we got to turn? Left, right? So you could use your VOR, or if you got a busted heading indicator, edging indicator to help. Okay, let's try this. Okay, so you can use your VOR or your heading indicator to help you out. You can say like, what heading am I flying now? And it's basically just like a little card there, and you can turn it with a little knob, and you say, I'm flying a heading of 30 degrees. Okay, put that at the top, and you can say 30, and you can kind of visualize where you got to turn, or stuff like that. After that, instructors will tell you about that stuff. And for those who don't know, Usually most airplanes around, if like all your big jets and stuff like that, whenever they turn at a rate of 3 degrees per second. Okay, so I'm going to draw another compass here. And so this is yeah, there's a lot of videos on YouTube that talk about this stuff, so you can. But for those of my fans that aren't pilots, this is where they get. So you might be thinking, okay, 3 degrees per second, where does that number come from, right? So here we go. We got that's a compass. So we got our north, south. We are here, west, east. Okay, so if you remember, in a circle, you got 360 degrees, right? So, okay, if you're going to turn all the way around, you got your airplane and you're going to be turning around 360 degrees. Aha. There's a certain instrument called a turn coordinator in your airplane. And it's got like kind of looks like the back of an airplane. It's got a little ball in there to keep it coordinated. Okay, that's exactly what the instrument looks like. So, and if you're turning, so you're going to turn to the right, there'll be like a. Okay, so you got these little marks down there. If you put that wingtip down here, and we'll say that's our new wingtip, you'll be turning to the right at a rate of, and it'll usually say right on the instrument, it takes you 2 minutes to go all the way around at that angle of bank. So there you go. That's where your 3 degrees per second comes from, because you got 2 minutes to go all the way around in a circle. If you, okay, so 2 minutes is how many seconds? So you got 60 seconds in a minute, 2 minutes, 2 times 60, 120. So you got 120. But we also know that we got 360 degrees here. So if we go 360 degrees, and we're going to divide that by 120 seconds. There you go. There's my final, there's my fun math. And that'll give you 3 degrees per second. So that's where that comes from. 360 degrees at a 2-minute turn. Okay, some people might not know that. Some people might. Okay, now, like I said before, I was talking about how there's a difference between true north and magnetic north. So if you're flying around, you're following your little map. Oh, I'm going to fly from here to here. And you say, oh, that's directly north. I'll fly a heading of 360. Okay, well, you'll be off. It won't be making sense, because there's this thing that they call magnetic variation. And if you ever see, that's something worth taking a glance at, magnetic variation. That's why you have to use your aviation chart when you're navigating instead of your road atlas when you're navigating. You don't want to do that. See, this one here, that's for cars. Tells you how to go down I-75. And this one's for airplanes. Tells you how to fly and not hit mountains and stuff. So, okay, what you will find on here is, okay, now it'd be much better if I did like a huge presentation on this and I showed you the actual magnetic variation lines of the world. But it's easier for me to just draw them, even though they're not that accurate, but you'll get the idea. So let's just say that's our world. We're living in a nice flat world. The world is flat now. So say you got North America. What do we got? Let's got Alaska's up here. You got Canada kind of goes up here. Got some islands up north in Canada. It kind of goes like this down the west coast. Kind of go over here. We got Hudson Bay, James Bay kind of comes up there. We got Newfoundland out over here. We got Nova Scotia over here. That goes down like that. That's kind of big. Goes down there. Then we got Florida, Texas, going into Mexico. That is probably one of the best maps I've ever seen. We got some Great Lakes around here. All right. That is my map of North America. How's that looking? Good? Of course. So That's your map of North America, exactly. Alaska could probably be a little bigger. There we go. So generally, we're kind of lucky here in North America that we have where there's a place where the magnetic north is exactly the same as the true north. That's called the agonic line. That might be a test for you. That might be a test for you on your written test for your flight private pilot written exam. They might mention the agonic line. So it generally kind of goes like this. So if you're on that green line there, okay, that's cool. That's where north magnetic and true north are about the same. But this is where it gets weird. And if it's weird, I will do it in red because it's weird. If you ever look at this map, if you do a Google search on magnetic variation map, world map, you'll see that it gets really wonky really fast. So here, the green line, that's it's like magnetic and true north are the same. But then, say you go like around here, this goes all funny around here. And you could even have something off over here. So depending on, so these red lines here, you could say, okay, that's, I'm just going to exaggerate here. So this is your magnetic and true north, exactly the same if you're on that line. If you're on this line somewhere, you might be 10 degrees off. If you're on this line somewhere, you might be 20 degrees off. If you're on this line, you might be 30 degrees off. So if you want to say, oh, I'm going to fly magnetic north, well, up here, you're 30 degrees off. So you're going to be going to the wrong place. That is why on your aeronautical chart, which you should have up to date, I don't know if you can see it on here, around where I live, there's we are 8 degrees west variation. Can you see that down? Let's see if I can get this thing close. Right there, that says 8 degrees west. So all along that line, whoops, I'm trying to do this backwards. That line there is it's 8 degrees off of your where the true and magnetic headings are the same. Okay, now I'm confusing myself, but don't worry about it. You just remember, west is best, east is least. So, okay, around here, if I want to fly north, I actually fly on my, if I want to go true north, fly magnetic 8 degrees. There we go. Add it to it. Okay, so that's something else, and that's something you definitely have to learn as a pilot because you're going to be tested on that. Probably some variation of it, some aspects of that you'll be tested on that through every single test that you do, except for your instructor rating. So there we go. And the next thing we got to do, we got to worry about our deviation. Okay, this is, I mean, there's lots of videos that talk about this here. Deviation. What does that mean? It means that if you have your compass there in your airplane, depending on what radios you have on or what lights you have on, how much electrical current's going through different places in the airplane, that can make the compass move just a little bit. Because there's that relationship between electricity and magnets. And you know, you do this and this in your school. When you're in grade school, you got a coil and you got a magnet. You're moving things and doing stuff. I don't remember what we did, but there's a relationship between that, or even the way electricity is produced. You get a magnet and flip your magnet around. So yeah, so deviation, pay attention to that. There'll be a little card on the probably somewhere close to the compass, and it'll say, okay, if you got all your lights on and everything, you're gonna have to add another 5 degrees or something. So that's when the compass swings. So anyways, that's pretty complicated piloty stuff. But so just remember, I guess the take home for that would be number one, if you are a pilot, drag the number to the line. If you want to go, if you want to be fine, drag the number to the line. So it's like, I want to go here, it's over there. Okay, I'll turn right or left, depending on how I have to drag that number over to the line. And then, like I said, you'll be fine. And if that doesn't work for you, you can always cheat using the VOR or the heading indicator, like your broken heading indicator if it's not moving at all. Use it as a way to get your situational awareness. Remember, it's 3 degrees per second when you're turning at a rate 1 turn or 2-minute turn, as they say. And don't forget your variation and deviation. Variation can be off a lot depending on where you are in the world. So pay attention to that. Okay. Now, okay, that's kind of like the quickie compass tutorial, I guess. There's a lot of videos out there that can go way more in depth and have way better graphics than I had here, but good enough for I just wanted to get that out there that you should drag the number to the line, and that gets rid of a whole lot of confusion. And I invented that myself, so I think I never heard it before. Okay, let's see. I saw some art in here with a whole bunch of comments, and we'll kind of go back. Okay. All right, so smart, Raman. I always wanted to be a pilot, but unfortunately, I got glasses and decided to be a surgeon in med school. Oh, cool. Still want to go to flight school to fly for fun, probably one day. Okay, and then we'll definitely recommend this channel to my mate who's in flight school right now. Cool. You know, that'd be awesome, Samar. Oh, and by the way, if you do have glasses, that doesn't preclude you from having a pilot's license. So, I feel like I'm going to sneeze here now. All right. Nope, I guess not. Yeah, you can I have a commercial pilot's license. I have glasses. They just have to be corrected to 20/20 vision, and you're good to go. And you can't have any like weird astigmatisms and other cataracts and stuff like that. So there's a vision test that you do, and then you can't be colorblind too, and that gets tricky too with your color blindness. I do know one pilot that's has a commercial license, and he is technically colorblind according to the tests, but they'll do a functional test, and basically you have to tell the difference between here's your bright green and here's your bright red and here's a white light. Can you tell the difference between the three? Yep. Okay, you're colorblind, but you can tell that, you're good. So they might not see green or red. It might be a shade of gray that they see, but as long as you can tell, that's you can have practical tests. So don't worry about the glasses, and good luck on med school. Okay. Excellent. Okay, here we go. Oh, okay. So Daniel and Samart were having a little bit of a conversation back and forth here. Does your airport have instructors offering lessons? Sometimes they have special instructional flights. Really worth it. Oh, so yeah, you can just about anywhere if you're interested in it. If you're busy in med school, you might not have time or the money for it. But yeah, anytime you do want to go up for a ride in an airplane, just go out to do a Google search for introductory flight. Flying lessons, introductory flight, and just call up the local flight school, and they'll hook you up. Okay. Okay. Here we go. So I'm eavesdropping. I'm eavesdropping on your Daniel and Samart's conversation here. So med school is quite hectic. Hasn't found enough time to start flying lessons, but has a Microsoft flight simulator set up in which I fly occasionally for fun. Yeah, a lot of people go pretty hardcore into the Microsoft flight simulator stuff, and then they just say, "Well, I'm spending $10,000 on my computer setup here. I might as well just learn how to fly." I've met a few guys like that, and very cool. And then, so Samart lives close to an Air Force base, watching the F-22 and C-17 Globemaster every single day as a young kid made me really passionate about flying for the force. But the USAF has a 6.6 requirement. Oh, yeah, if you want to do military flying, yeah, that's got to be uncorrected 20/20 vision. So, or 6.6, depending on, there's some other way of measuring your eyes. Yeah. So it doesn't really necessarily make you a worse pilot if you have a little bit worse uncorrected vision. But I think it's like more for the military. It's more of a, I don't know, depending on the plane, they have visors and stuff like that might or might, and helmets that might or might not accommodate glasses. Most of them do, I think, but it's also a way of just weeding out applications, because everybody wants to be a fighter jet pilot. Me too. I always wanted to be a fighter jet pilot because, of course, because they go fast and they're cool. And then my eyes went bad, and I went, looks like I can't be a pilot. And then I found out, like back in the day, you used to need uncorrected 20/20 vision to go get a commercial license or fly for airlines and that. So I thought, well, that job's out of the that's out of the picture for that job. But then they changed the regulations, and I got back into flying, and there we go. Instructed for many years to have a good time with it. Okay. Here we go. Oh, Daniel's basically quoting superpilotish live streams last year or 2022. Okay, hey, I'm here to be quoted there, Daniel. Thanks for showing up. Okay, so that's about it for today. So we got today is Wednesday. Now I'm gonna be out of town for a little while. I don't know if I'll be able to get it. I won't be able to get a show in on Friday. I might or might not get a show in on Monday. So I'll probably see you in about another week. So Wednesday, I'd say, is a high probability I'll be live on Wednesday, but maybe Monday, probably not. So anyways, okay. Very cool. That is that. And I usually do this Monday, Wednesday, Friday at noon Eastern, but this is going to be a weird week for me. So I'll see you when I see you. A Monday, a Wednesday, or a Friday in the future. So there you go. I'll just kind of shut her down. And that's about it. Thank you for watching. Bye.